There's a question that has haunted people for centuries. What's the fastest way to get rich? Most people waste their whole lives searching for the answer, but the truth has always been hidden in plain sight. The wealthy don't want you to know it, because if you did, you'd stop playing their game and start building your own. Let me tell you this: riches don't come to the smartest person in the room, or even the hardest worker. If that were true, teachers, nurses, and construction workers would all be billionaires. No, riches come to the person who understands power and how to turn power into money. Machiavelli, the thinker who wrote The Prince, made this clear hundreds of years ago. He taught that money flows to those who can control others, bend situations to their will, and see opportunities before anyone else does. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people will never get rich, not because they're not capable, but because they're trapped in the wrong mindset. They think money comes from playing it safe, from working a job for 40 years, from saving every dollar. But Machiavelli would laugh at that. He'd say, wealth comes from bold moves, from knowing when to risk everything, and from having the courage to do what others fear. So if you want the fastest path to riches, burn this into your brain. Safe is slow, bold is fast. The man who dares to do what others won't, he is the one who climbs the ladder the quickest. Think about it. When you see someone rise to wealth, it almost always looks sudden. One year they're unknown, the next they're everywhere, running companies, making headlines, living in mansions. But here's the trick. Their rise wasn't magic. It was strategy. They used principles as old as war itself. And today I'm going to break those principles down for you, Machiavelli style, so you can see the path for yourself. The common mistake: most people believe wealth comes from working harder. They think if they put in more hours, if they hustle non-stop, they'll eventually break through. But here's the sad truth. Hard work alone keeps you trapped. Look around. The hardest workers in society often earn the least. Why? Because their effort is being sold to someone else. They're trading time for money, while the rich are trading ideas and influence for money. Machiavelli would say, the man who works for another is always a servant. The man who makes others work for him is always a master. That's the key difference. And that's why the masses stay broke. They keep looking for money in the wrong place. They sell their labor instead of building leverage. The power principle. It's simple. Control creates wealth. If you want to get rich fast, put yourself in a position where your decisions move money, not your muscles. The rich don't just work. They position themselves at the top of a system. They own, they lead, they influence. Why does this work? Psychology. Humans are wired to follow leaders, not equals. When you show certainty, confidence, and the ability to take bold action, people rally around you. They give you their time, their energy, even their money. And once you control that flow, you can multiply it quickly. That's why building power and influence is 10 times faster than just working hard. The trap of playing it safe. If you choose the slow path, if you choose to play it safe, you trap yourself in a game you can't win. Imagine working for 40 years, only to retire with barely enough to survive. That's not wealth. That's slavery, with a smile. And the worst part? You've given the best years of your life to building someone else's fortune. People who stay in that trap always ask, why them and not me? They see the rich rising and think it's luck. But it's not luck. It's design, Machiavellian design. The rich set up the game so that every move you make builds their empire, not yours. And if you don't wake up, you'll keep building palaces for kings while living in a cage yourself. The alternative: think like a prince, not a servant. Instead of asking, "How can I make money?" ask, "How can I build power?" Because power attracts money like a magnet. When you control attention, when you control resources, when you control opportunities, the money comes rushing in, and it comes fast. Look at business empires. Look at political dynasties. Look at the people who dominate industries. None of them got there by working harder than everyone else. They got there by seizing control, by walking into arenas where most people are too scared to play, by moving decisively when the moment was right. Tactics to move faster. Build leverage, not labor. Stop thinking like a worker. Start thinking like an owner. Ownership is the fastest escalator to wealth. This could mean owning a business, owning attention online, or owning assets that grow without your constant effort. Be bold in your moves. Machiavelli said, "Fortune favors the bold." If you see an opportunity, don't wait for perfect timing. Move. Most people drown in hesitation. The fast movers seize the prize. Control perception. Wealth is often built on reputation. If people see you as powerful, smart, and unshakable, they'll trust you, follow you, and invest in you. That's how leaders multiply riches. Cut the dead weight. Don't waste years proving yourself in places that can't reward you. If your environment is a cage, walk out, find arenas where power is up for grabs, and play to win. When you use these tactics, something amazing happens. Others start chasing you. They sense your power, your boldness, your ability to create opportunities. Suddenly, doors that were once locked swing open. Investors call you, customers line up, partners beg to work with you. And that shift from you chasing money to money chasing you is the moment you begin to rise quickly. But let me warn you, the rise is not for the faint of heart. When you play the game of fast wealth, you will be tested. People will envy you. They will doubt you. They will try to block your path. But Machiavelli teaches us this: resistance is proof of your power. If no one is trying to stop you, it means you're not moving fast enough or bold enough. Now, let's go deeper. For those who want to master this at an advanced level, here's a truth most people will never hear. Sometimes the fastest way to get rich is not just to build, but to take. Look at history. Many great fortunes were made, not by creating something new, but by seizing what already existed. Whether it's buying out competitors, dominating a market, or claiming resources others ignored, the boldest moves often come from capturing, not just creating. The world is filled with untapped opportunities, waiting for someone with the courage to claim them. But the average person never sees them. Why? Because they are too busy working, too busy obeying, too busy playing safe. And that's why they never rise. So if you want the fastest path to riches, remember this: you must stop being a servant and start being a strategist. Your mind must become sharper than your hands. Your courage must become louder than your fears, and your moves must be bolder than the people around you. That sets what separates the rich from the rest. Once you master this, once you stop chasing money and start building power, you become unforgettable. People can't ignore you. Opportunities can't pass you by. Money begins flowing into your life at a speed that looks unreal to those still stuck in the old game. They'll call you lucky. They'll call you ruthless. But you'll know the truth. You played the game the way it was meant to be played, Machiavelli's way. And that, my friend, is the fastest way to get rich. But now the question remains: What exact steps can you take right now to start this journey? How do you go from where you are today, maybe broke, maybe stuck, to climbing fast into real wealth? Let's break it down in Machiavellian terms. The first step is to understand where you are in the game. Most people don't even know what game they're playing. They think life is about getting by, paying bills, maybe saving a little. That's not a game. That's a prison. If you want to get rich, you must first admit to yourself, I've been playing the wrong game. The poor play survival, the rich play domination, and the rules are completely different. In survival mode, your goal is to last. In domination mode, your goal is to expand. The person who survives will never become rich, because survival makes you timid, it makes you afraid of loss. But the person who plays for expansion, who is willing to risk, to fight, to push, that person has the engine for wealth. Machiavelli once said that fortune is like a woman. It rewards the bold, the aggressive, the one who dares to act. What does that mean for you? It means this: if you want to move fast, you can't tiptoe your way to wealth. You must strike, you must move with force, even if you don't have everything figured out. The common mistake that kills speed: waiting for perfect timing. People say, I'll start when I have more money. I'll start when I have more time. I'll start when the economy is better. That waiting becomes a trap. They end up waiting forever. The rich don't wait. They strike. They move while others hesitate. And because of that, they grab opportunities before anyone else even sees them. Think about it. When a new market opens up, who gets rich? The first movers. When a trend explodes, who gets the wealth? The ones who acted early, not the ones who sat around thinking about it. If you want the fastest path to wealth, your speed of decision must be faster than the average man's doubt. The psychology of boldness. Why does boldness create riches? Because money follows certainty. People are drawn to leaders who act with conviction, even if you don't have all the answers. If you project certainty and move with courage, others will trust you, invest in you, and follow you. That trust is leverage, and leverage is how you multiply money at lightning speed. But what happens if you ignore this? The consequence is brutal. You become invisible. No one follows you. No one invests in you. No one bets on you. You blend into the crowd of cautious, timid people who play safe and stay broke. Worse, when you finally decide to act, it's too late. The opportunity is gone, already taken by someone who dared while you hesitated. The alternative: you must rewire your brain to see hesitation as death. Whenever you feel yourself holding back, ask, what would a prince do? What would the man who wants to rise fastest choose? The answer is almost always this: act boldly, even if the path is not clear. Practical tactics for speed. Create a bias for action. Stop overthinking. If an idea excites you, test it within 24 hours. Don't wait a week. Don't wait for permission. Move now. Use fear as fuel. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means you're on the edge of power. Train yourself to act when fear rises, not retreat. Position yourself in hot arenas. The fastest wealth is always made in fast-changing fields: technology, media, finance, emerging industries. These are the battlefields where fortunes are built overnight. Don't waste your time in dead industries. Leverage other people's resources. You don't need to own everything to control it. Partnerships, investors, networks. Use other people's money, time, and skills to move faster than you ever could alone. When you apply these, something shifts. Suddenly, instead of chasing crumbs, you're grabbing whole pies. You'll notice people start to see you differently. They sense momentum. They sense that you're not just another dreamer, but a mover. And movers attract riches. Now, let's talk about how others react when you adopt this Machiavellian speed. At first, they will laugh at you. They'll call you reckless, crazy, unrealistic. But when your bold moves start paying off, those same people will flip. They'll say you were lucky. They'll act like they believed in you all along. That's the pattern. First they doubt, then they envy, then they chase. Understand this: envy is a signal you're rising. When people start whispering about you, criticizing you, trying to pull you down, it means you're moving fast enough to be noticed. If no one envies you, you're invisible, and invisibility is death in the game of wealth. For those who want to play at the advanced level, here's a secret. Speed comes from controlling not just your own moves, but also the moves of others. Think about generals in war. They don't fight every battle themselves. They direct armies. They multiply their power through others. If you want to rise fast, you must do the same. This means learning how to recruit, persuade, and influence people to act in ways that serve your vision, whether it's employees, partners, or followers online. Your ability to control movement through influence will make you unstoppable. And once you master that, you'll move 10 times faster than any lone wolf could. The end game. Now, imagine what happens when you move boldly, seize opportunities, and control leverage. You create an empire in record time. You're not scraping by, you're dictating terms. People come to you. They seek your approval, your investment, your guidance. Money becomes a byproduct, not the main goal. And that's the point where riches flood in, at a speed most people can't even understand. But remember, this game isn't about money alone. Fast wealth is about power. The money is just proof of your influence. And once you have that influence, you can create more money anytime you want. That's why the rich never fear losing it. They know they can build it back again, because they control the levers of power. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Pick one bold move you've been putting off, and do it today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Because wealth doesn't wait for the timid. It flows to the daring. And here's the truth you must burn into your mind. The fastest way to get rich is not to play safe, but to play like a prince, to take bold risks, to seize opportunities before the crowd, to use power, not labor, to move so quickly that the world has no choice but to notice you. As Machiavelli might whisper if he were here today, fortune belongs to the bold, and the bold do not wait. From ideas to strategy. Now that we've broken down the principles of speed, let's go deeper into the strategies, because ideas are powerful, but strategies are what turn power into riches. Machiavelli understood that wealth is not just about what you know, it's about how you use that knowledge to bend the world to your will. So, let's talk about the hidden gears that make fast wealth possible. If you look at anyone who has risen quickly, from tycoons in business to rulers in history, you'll see the same pattern. They master leverage. Leverage is the art of doing more with less. It's how you make one move and get 10 results. It's how you multiply time, energy, and money. There are 4 main types of leverage that can take you from broke to rich faster than anything else. Money, people, knowledge, and attention. Money leverage. This is simple, using other people's money to build your empire. The poor fear debt. The rich weaponize it. The poor say, I can't start until I save enough. The rich say, who can I partner with? Who can I borrow from? Who can I attract to fund this? If you want to get rich fast, you must stop fearing the tool that the wealthy use every single day. Money is a soldier, and if you don't command it, someone else will use it against you. 2 people leverage. Alone, you move slowly. With others, you move at lightning speed. Look at kings, CEOs, or influencers. None of them built their empires alone. They built networks. They rallied armies of followers, employees, or fans who worked, bought, or spread their message. If you can inspire or direct others, you can scale yourself infinitely. That's why leadership is one of the most valuable skills in the world. 3 is knowledge leverage. This doesn't just mean having information. It means knowing what others don't and using it before they catch on. Think about investors who saw opportunities in tech before it exploded. Think about rulers who struck alliances before their enemies even realized the risk. If you want to move fast, you must be ahead of the curve. Learn constantly, but act on what you learn even faster. 4. Attention leverage. This is the secret weapon of the modern world. Attention is money. If you can capture attention through media, charisma, or influence, you can turn it into wealth at a speed that makes people's heads spin. Why do you think influencers rise so fast? It's because attention can be converted into sales, partnerships, influence, and power. Attention is the currency of speed, the common mistake. Now let's expose the mistake most people make with leverage. They try to do everything alone. They think, I'll save up myself. I'll learn everything myself. I'll build slowly. That is the mindset of poverty. Machiavelli would call this weakness. The man who insists on moving alone moves like a snail. The man who multiplies his power through others moves like a storm. The psychology of leverage. Humans are drawn to strength. When they see someone moving with vision and confidence, they want to join in. That's why leaders who rise fast are never truly alone. They create movements. They give others something to believe in, and in return, those people give their time, money, and loyalty. If you want speed, you must learn how to make others feel that being around you benefits them. But what happens if you don't? If you try to do everything alone, you'll burn out. You'll spend years grinding, while someone else uses leverage to pass you in months. You'll watch people younger than you, less skilled than you, rising faster simply because they understood that leverage beats labor every single time. So what's the alternative? Instead of asking, how can I do this? Ask, who or what can help me do this faster? That small shift changes everything. You stop being the worker and start being the commander. You stop moving slow and start multiplying your moves. Now, let us break this into practical tactics. Use other people's money wisely. Don't fear loans, investments, or partnerships. If the move is bold and calculated, debt can make you rich faster than savings ever will. Build alliances. Don't try to crush everyone around you. Sometimes the fastest rise comes from teaming up with the right people, then outgrowing them later, if you must. Invest in information. Don't just consume content for entertainment. Seek knowledge that gives you an edge. Information is a weapon. Arm yourself constantly. Capture attention relentlessly. Post, speak, share, network, whatever it takes. If no one knows your name, no one will pay you. But if everyone knows your name, wealth comes running. When you start applying these, people's perception of you changes overnight. Suddenly you're not just trying, you're moving, you're building, you're multiplying. And because perception creates reality, the world begins to treat you as someone who is rising. That treatment itself opens more doors, creating a snowball effect. But here's the hidden truth. When you rise fast, you also create enemies fast. That's the advanced reality. Machiavelli warned that power attracts resistance. The higher you climb, the more people will try to pull you down. Jealous rivals, bitter ex-friends, even competitors who see you as a threat. They will all appear. And this is where many fail. They can't handle the attacks, so they collapse. If you want to stay fast, you must expect this. You must prepare yourself not just for success, but for envy, betrayal, and sabotage. The strong see these not as problems, but as proof they're on the right path. If you're not making enemies, you're not moving fast enough. Now, picture the endgame. Imagine you've built leverage in money, people, knowledge, and attention. Imagine you've moved boldly, struck quickly, and handled the resistance. Where are you now? You're not just rich, you're untouchable. You've built a fortress around yourself. Others rely on you. Others need you. And when others need you more than you need them, you've won. That's the level Machiavelli admired. Not just the man who had wealth, but the man who had the power to keep it, multiply it, and use it to shape the world around him. That's the true endgame. Not just riches, but rule. So, stop moving slow. Stop trying to do it all yourself. Identify where you can use leverage right now. Maybe it's finding a partner. Maybe it's asking for an investment. Maybe it's building attention online. Whatever it is, act on it today. Because the difference between moving slow and moving fast always comes down to two things: boldness and leverage. And remember this, wealth doesn't flow to the cautious, it flows to the commanders. If you want to get rich quickly, you must step into command, not tomorrow, not next week, now.